Where how PadSplit, like as an investor, the people that are tuning in live right now, the first thing I ask as an investor, when you look at this, you're saying I can make you 100% yield for property owners, right? So you're saying, hey, like for prime example, I have a 5-bedroom house. I have a 5-bedroom house, and you're able to do this because you rent every room at the same rate. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, they're not exactly at the same rate, but each one is an equivalent value. So you think about what's happened in this country is over the last 60 years, the size of single-family homes has tripled. Meanwhile, we know that households and family sizes are getting smaller and smaller. And so what happens is you have a lot of wasted space that's sitting in mostly single family, but it happens in multifamily as well, that just isn't being used and can't be monetized. So you think about, if you have a formal dining room in a rental property, what's the incremental rent that you're getting from that formal dining room? The answer almost assuredly is zero. Like it's absolutely worthless. But there's no reason that formal dining room can't be converted to a bedroom. You change out the furniture, and voila, it is now a bedroom that has the capability of being rented. The major issue is there's no consolidated source of lead generation to fill that room. And then if you were going to fill it with someone who doesn't know the other people in the home, how do you actually manage all those contracts and the payments and all of that kind of stuff? And so that's really what we do, and why there's so much more value, because your formal dining room, your home office, if you have a living room and a den and a family room, all these extra spaces can be reasonably easily converted into individual bedrooms. And there is an enormous population of folks. It's really, single person households are the greatest share of households in the United States, certainly of renters, that just don't have access to any good housing options. And so you can market to those folks with these types of shared rental facilities.
Okay. It's a pretty good idea. Now, you have over 1,700 units that you've gotten to in the last 3.5 years. Amazing, by the way. Definitely a round of applause for that. But I got to ask you this question, right? What do you think about places like, hotels? People are not using hotels. Airbnb is becoming popular. Have you seen a lot of hotels for sale that you could potentially put on PadSplit's platform?
Yeah, we've looked at it, and I mean, listen, I think we are essentially like a management platform. So if you think of property management as the on-site maintenance side, which we don't really do a lot of, or the resident management side, we can do that in a lot of different formats, whether that is a single family home or we have a number of apartments, hotels, accessory dwelling units. There are any number of different housing types that we can be really effective at providing affordable housing with low barriers to entry in all of these groups. We've experimented a little bit with hotels and had some folks come on the platform. Frankly, it hasn't been a huge growth or attributed a huge portion of our growth, which has largely been both single family and traditional multifamily. But I do think that it's got some potential in the future.
Let me ask you this question. What do you think about the concept of maybe a PadSplit like purchased a hotel, then just PadSplitted the whole entire, place?
Yeah, we've had a couple opportunities that have been brought to us in, with that type of idea. The reality is that generally hotels or the people that are looking to do that kind of thing are more in the traditional multifamily mindset. And where we add the most value today is number one, on lead generation. And if it looks and feels exactly like a studio apartment, then they're looking at those traditional marketing channels to fill those rooms. And they're still charging the same deposits, and everything is still pretty traditional. Whereas for us, if it's a shared situation, no one else really does what we do. And the price point that we can hit in these shared settings is significantly lower than anything else, inclusive of hotels. Right now, if you looked at the average price of a PadSplit all inclusive compared to an extended stay motel that's really in rough shape, it's still about half. So
Mm.
it tends to be just much more affordable for our clientele to take advantage of those unmonetized, wasted spaces in traditional single family and multifamily. And it also creates a much better opportunity for investors to get that upside. If you're looking at a hotel residential conversion, pretty much anybody can look at an existing extended stay motel that has a kitchen, has a refrigerator, and everything set up, and say, oh, well, yeah, that converts really easily. And there's a lot more competition from the investment side for those types of assets because they say, oh, well, hotels to residential, that's an easy conversion. Whereas there are very few people who are looking at single family homes and saying, oh, wait a second, I can take advantage of that formal dining room that no one else is looking at as an asset that can be monetized.